Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. I'd like to bring you said information pertaining to a court appearance made by Vallow Daybell. And if you need verification for the storyline, please log on to eastidahonews.com. Vallow Daybell appears to cry during hearing on new charges. Vallow Daybell appeared to wipe away tears Tuesday afternoon during her initial court appearance on 2 felony charges of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. Daybell and her attorney, Mark Means, participated in the hearing via Zoom from the Madison County Courthouse due to COVID-19 concerns. Judge Farron Edens presided, and Madison County Prosecuting Attorney Rob Wood joined from his office. Daybell's son and daughter-in-law, Kobe and Kelsey Ryan, appeared on screen during the proceedings, and Edens noted that Kay and Larry Woodcock, Joshua J.J. Vallow's grandparents, were listening in to the hearing. Kobe appeared stoic throughout much of his mother's court appearance. Daybell appeared in a long-sleeved blue shirt. She and Means were wearing protective masks, which hid their expressions. She was able to see Kobe on a large screen, and he appeared stoic throughout much of his mother's court appearance. She softly responded yes after Edens read the criminal charges to her and asked if she understood them. She wiped her eyes and reached for a tissue when Edens mentioned Daybell's daughter, Tylee Ryan, whose remains, along with JJ's, were found buried in Chad Daybell's backyard in the Salem area of Fremont County on June 9th. Daybell is accused of conspiring with Chad Daybell to willfully and knowingly conspire, confederate, and agree to commit destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence regarding the remains of Tylee and JJ. Police say the two lied to them about where the children were and refused to cooperate with law enforcement in their investigation. The hearing lasted about 15 minutes, and Edens kept Daybell's bond at $1 million. If she is able to post bail, she must reside in Bonneville, Jefferson, Madison, or Fremont counties. She will also be required to wear an ankle monitor. Daybell is also facing 2 charges of desertion of children in Madison County, where she has been housed since March. Her husband is in the Fremont County Jail on 2 charges of destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. Bail is set for $1 million in his case. Before the hearing ended, Edens asked Means if he had ever represented any other people associated with this case. He responded that he had not, and Wood interrupted. "Your Honor, I need to interject. At a bail reduction here in Madison County, Mr. Means did represent to the court that he was also representing Mr. Daybell. There was no criminal matter against him at that time, but I think that is appropriate to know," Wood said. Means did tweet on April 28 that his office was representing Chad Daybell, and anyone want to reach him needed to contact Means. And inside this article, you will see a social media post by the attorney Means. Edens asks Wood and Means to each submit an explanation regarding the issue so the case can move forward. Daybell's next court hearing is scheduled for August 10th and 11th. And there are other said articles pertaining to this case within this article, and there is also a video of the court appearance. Let me tell you, I watched the Dateline documentary pertaining to this case that was just recently viewed on the NBC network. Please check it out. I think you should watch it because it's very informative. As I stated, Dateline did a great piece a while ago, not too long ago, pertaining to this case before the children's remains were found. And watching this piece also goes back to the original Dateline episode and then the discovery of the children's remains. Let me tell you, watching that this episode, was just heart-wrenching. Knowing these people knew what they were doing. Now, one could say Lori followed him. She was misled by his hocus-pocus religious ideology, But when you listen to her friend April, you will realize she knew what she was doing. She was laying out the foundation for murder. She was talking about murdering her husband, that he was a zombie, Satan, this and that. So the implication was there. Now, as far as her brother's death, I don't know if it just was a fluke that he had heart problems or what, but it is odd that he died. Chad's wife died in her sleep. Just too many deaths related to these people. Excuse me, it's a little warm in here. It's just crazy, crazy nonsense going on with these people. Missing children now found buried in a yard, Mr. Daybell's yard. There's no way Lori can say she didn't know how they got there. And I'm going to tell you something that puzzled me the most is when they showed on this episode of Dateline that the brother Alex phone pinged on that man's property, near his property, the last time those children were seen. So that means the brother was also involved. Just crazy, crazy nonsense pertaining to this woman and this religion, and everybody waiting till the last minute to call. I don't mean to throw salt in someone's wounds, but the fact that those grandparents waited 3 months to call the police, that is troublesome to me. Why would you wait the end of November to call the police when you hadn't talked to the child in months? I thought it was 2 months. Then they said 3 months. So 3 months. The grandparents hadn't talked to JJ. And you make a phone call the end of November. The fact that she hired a babysitter to keep the son, but there was no viewing of the daughter. That lets you know she knocked that daughter off first. And then the son. And then when someone else started inquiring about the son, wanting to see him, this guy gives his testimony during this series, you realize she had to go remove him from school because she realized, okay, somebody's asking too many questions, wanting to see him. What am I going to do? Because I don't have him to show. So I've got to remove him from school. And then she had him murdered. And I believe she had her brother murder her children. But my thing is she was complicit. And there's no way I can believe now that she was just a follower of Mr. Chad, her lover, because you also, Lori, involved your brother. And you've been lying to your friends and different relatives about the whereabouts of these children and giving them all type of wild stories that the little boy was acting out, that you sent him off to stay with your brother when all along he was dead. You can believe what you want about these people. And there's always going to be some crazy kooks that think, well, she was weak-minded, she was this. When you go back in history and watch the videos of her first husband, his interaction with the police when he was trying to get her some mental help, you will see that she was off her rocker then, and he was trying to make the police understand that something was wrong with his wife, that she was not well. They had problems. They had serious problems in their marriage. And the fact that she told her friend April that she needed to get back to wherever she had to go so she could settle her husband's finances. And this is when she's going back and forth with him when he was still alive. You see, she was already laying out the foundation to get rid of her husband. And the fact that this man, Chad, was in love, infatuated with her, whatever it was, vice versa, and he was still married. Then they had some crazy ceremony when he knew it wasn't legit or legal because he was still married to his wife. It shows you that both of them were sick. Very, very sick. And frankly, I'm just going to tell you something. I get tired of people using the Bible and religious teachings to their advantage to use, manipulate, and con people and talk crazy people talk. And nowhere have you ever heard of zombies being in the Bible or any other religious teachings that I know of. But I'll speak for the Bible. You never heard of anything about any zombies walking around. And taking what you want from the Bible for your advantage to use, manipulate, and con people and get a following is sick. But see, that's what man has done. Always taking biblical scriptures and using it to do what he or she wants to manipulate people. And then they take a little away, then they add a little, and then they bring in their own ideology. And then here are these crazy, weak-minded people following in behind them, believing what they're saying. And little do they know, these people don't care anything about them. They're not concerned about them. They don't care anything about them. They have lost their way. Are they schizophrenic, narcissistic? Probably a little bit of both. But 2 children have lost their lives, and possibly a wife has lost her life, because she was married to a nut. A nut. And the fact that Lori and this man, Chad, kept jumping from state to state, Idaho to Arizona, then to Hawaii, then back to the States again, all this moving around shows that she was on shaky ground. And she knew people would start calling and wanting to see these children. And that's why she kept moving around. This is a sick, sick tale of grand manipulation, buffoonery, and utter nonsense. Chaos, greed, lust, all of the above. My prayers are with this family, the older son and his wife and kids. There's a lot going on with these people. And I'm telling you, please check out the Dateline episode that just aired here recently. It's very informative. It gives you the backdrop of what was going on in this woman's life. The confidant she had, her friend, Miss April, who gives her testimony. The fact that she even admitted to going into hiding once she started talking about Lori's, odd and peculiar behavior, shows you that even she was taken under this woman's wing trying to be her friend, but also realized that she was not stable and something was wrong with her. And I wish that woman had went and called the authorities to say, hey, I haven't seen those kids. Hey, there's something suspicious going on. I wish the grandparents had have called when they first didn't see JJ. Within the next day, if you couldn't see him on video chat, you should have called the police. Because it is sickening to know all this mess was going on, craziness in this marriage last winter, 19, goes into summer, then fall, children missing in September of 19, then this new year come in, everyone's chasing these people around the globe, and those children had long been buried last fall. And the crazy part is, why did the police just now decide to check Daybell's property? You should have been checking the property once you realized she was married to him and was jumping from state to state, Hawaii, back and forth. You should have known then. Nobody has seen these kids. Every place she moved from, no one has seen the kids. Let's go check out this husband's property since he does have land. And voila, that is where the children were found. Please check out this Dateline episode. It is a very good episode. Kudos to NBC. I want to thank you all for listening. I came in a little late with the information, but nonetheless, I wanted to bring it to you. She had a court appointment and $1 million bail, both. This is sad. This is a very sad and sick tale. And I just think it's sad that people use religion as a way to try to manipulate people and con people for crazy ideologies that they know don't make no sense, stuff they're making up at the top of their heads. It's just really sick. And anybody with any sense should know. Anybody coming to you talking about zombies, come on now. Whether it's religious or not, you should know something is wrong with this person. They need mental help. And the fact that you hear somebody talking like that and have children, you need to notify somebody ASAP. Because they don't need to be in the company of any grown adult that thinks people are zombies. And there's going to be a new this, a second coming, and all this crazy type stuff. Like I said, these people should have been focusing on living. There's nothing wrong with trying to dissect the Bible, spread its teachings if it is accurate. But when you start making up wild numbers of people that are going to be called, the second and third coming is going to be over in this location here, you should be very leery of the message and the messenger. And that's just a spoken word. There are some evil, sick people out here, and they will tell you anything to get in your pocketbook, to get in your mind, and even get in your pants. And I'm just keeping it 100. All these people are sick and evil. And I do believe all three are involved in the deaths of these 2 children. And possibly Chad's wife. And who knows how the brother died. Maybe he had a guilty conscience. He had a heart attack. I don't know. But God knows he sure enough took a secret to the grave. But that old cell phone will surely reveal where you've been, your location, who you talk to, text messages, all of that. This is a sad, sad case. Thanks for listening to me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Give me your feedback on this, and I will be back with another video. Thanks for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Good night.